Welcome back to NetUtil's Tech Roundup. Following our previous video blogs on Exinda, where we talk about the benefits of Exinda UPM within the enterprise, today we want to take a closer look at the benefits to just the service provider. So we've invited Phil from our service provider team back again to join us, and he's going to discuss with Malcolm the benefits of Exinda's UPM to the service provider. So thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Vanessa. So Malcolm, what I'm going to do is just draw up a sort of typical scenario for a service provider for, let's say, a DSL type subscriber. So we've got here our usual wholesale cloud provided by our wholesale provider. We've got a DSL subscriber here. We come back to our data center, our prime router, and then we're going out to the wide world. Situation here is actually they've got a subscriber here. He's actually phoned the call centre and he's actually complaining about the quality of his circuit. So for you, obviously, is there a problem with this subscriber? What can we actually do about that? Have you got actually any control or visibility to actually see what it's doing? So with Exinda, obviously with the UPM scenario, is there something we can do about that?
Yes, there is, definitely. With an Exinda appliance in a service provider network, where typically you'd have it somewhere there, the visibility that it allows you with your subscribers, it means that you can see everything that they're doing, the applications that they're running, and so on and so forth. And for example, if that user complaining that happens to be doing a lot of BitTorrent, you can either try and feed that back to them to see if it's actually legitimate traffic from them or someone else could be using their network that they were unaware of. So you can use it like a feedback mechanism, but essentially if you don't have that sort of visibility, then you're not able to feed that information back. You can also use it slightly as an enforcement mechanism with something like adaptive response, where it allows you to dynamically allocate users or subscribers into policies. So for example, if that user is allowed maybe a gig BitTorrent download due to your, in accordance with your fair usage policies, and he happens to do 2 gig or whatever, you can set an adaptive response on the Exinda appliance to dynamically move that user into a bandwidth cap of, say, a gig, or maybe even less, 700 or 800 meg or something, so that he fits within your fair usage policy. And once he comes down on the BitTorrent download, then he can then dynamically get moved into another policy as well. So you don't really have to do that. It's set up and it runs automatically on the Exinda appliance.
So basically what you can do, you can control some applications that you'd rather not have a lot of running over your pipe, because this is an expensive pipe from your wholesale provider. Obviously, as your wholesale provider account manager, I'm very keen to sell you more of an interconnect here. So that actually gives you a lot more control on those applications that are probably less critical but are very expensive on your network.
Absolutely, and in addition to that as well, with an Exinda appliance and the reporting that you have, depending on the type of subscriber that you have, you could actually use that as a feedback to them in terms of what they're actually doing on their network. So you could use the reporting as a visibility for your subscribers and say, this is what you've done in the last month or quarterly or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, and give them the opportunity to pay more if you think that's the sort of relevant for that particular subscriber.
Exactly. So you can use that to help them essentially just plan for their bandwidth utilization, either it needs to go up or go down, or actually give them more control over what's happening on their network once they have that visibility of what applications are running and who's doing what, essentially.
Yeah, great. And again, it's totally independent of whatever hardware I'm running across the back here in the core or back of my data center. So Exinda would just sit on top of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much for joining us again. Please contact us if you have any questions, or on netutils.com website, and as usual, keep following us on our blog.